Do you want to translate? Yes.
My name is Jackie. I'm a fitness trainer, and I am the elder statesman of the group, and I'm looking for somebody warm and breathing.
Warm and breathing, that's false. Yes.
Hi, my name is Desiree. I'm 36 years old. I'm a professional. I'm looking for tall, dark, and handsome, socially conscious, and somebody who'll make me laugh.
All right, we'll see what we can do to help these ladies, or at least give them some guidance. Let's roll it, Donna.
Ladies and gentlemen, Geraldo Rivera.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Chicago. Thank you. Welcome. Debbie, our supervising producer, tells me that men like those you just saw in that montage are hard to come by. She inspired this program. She's looking for a financially well-off, educated, established black man. They're hard to find, I am told. If you don't believe me, just ask the black professional women who will be on my panel and in my audience today. There is apparently a headline in a recent edition of the Chicago Tribune newspaper that says it all. Black women losing the dating game. It seems that more and more attractive, successful, baby boomer black women are unable to meet Mr. Right. Why, Deb?
It's hard. I mean, you're spending a lot of time working, and you'd like to be with someone who you consider your equal. And a lot of reports have come out that there are at least 4 women to every man. So, you know, to find that equal person is very difficult.
Is that a uniquely black thing?
I can speak from what I've heard from myself and my girlfriends, and it's pretty common in the black community, yeah.
So what's your situation?
Well, I'm single, and I'm looking, and I'd like to meet somebody who I think that would be compatible.
So is today's program, is the idea that you'll get some advice that might help you
That's
down
what I'm
the
hoping.
path?
Get some advice, talk to some men about what they're looking for, what makes women attractive to them, and hopefully give us some information that we can possibly meet Mr. Right.
All right, well, like their white female counterparts, black women want to meet somebody with the same interests, the same educational level, more or less, with some economic status, with similar likes and dislikes. It's the most normal thing in the world, so why isn't it happening? Is there a thing about black women? Are successful black women, are they too, I don't know, I don't want to fill in the blanks. Go.
Well, I think that in this day and time, things are different. In the old days, in the 50s, 60s, it wasn't appropriate for a woman to come to a man and say, I respect you, I like you, you want to go out for a date.
Mm-hmm.
I think in this day and time, it's not unconscionable for a black woman or any woman to come up to a guy and say, would you like to go out for a date, or would you like to have a drink? I think that would be appropriate.
Christoph, how would you respond to that?
It feels good. No, it definitely does. To be admired, or to have a female come up and say, hey, listen, you know, I've been watching you. I'd like to ask you out on a date. That feels good. I'm flattered. Yeah. Sure.
You don't feel put off at all?
Not at all.
You don't want to call the beat?
No, man. No. No, what about you, Mike?
Me? I think it's always nice to meet strong, positive people. And I think if you see something or someone that you would like to get to know better, then I think you should be able to make that move.
But is there, legend has it, when a black woman achieves a certain level of self-sufficiency, education, success, there is an intimidating aura to her. Do you buy that?
No, I don't. I think we as black people, and it's taking us time, but we get to levels where we don't see a lot of ourselves. And so you don't have your community around you. Yeah.
When you walked out on Angela Bassett in Waiting to Exhale, you walked into the arms of a white woman. Is that part of the problem, do you think? That black men now have it all. They can go anywhere they want to, basically. A lot of the old taboos have just become obsolete.
Well, no, we don't have it all, first of all. But, no, I think it's the same for black men. You know, that man was in a very high
economic status,
bracket,
for sure.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And Well, he just had problems. I don't think we could talk about him. Yeah. He had some problems.
Do you think, Brian, that women have different expectations than men? That, for instance, do women confuse sex with love?
I try not to put people in categories. I think that a lot of times we try to think that people are like equations. You can just plug in any number and it's all going to be the same. You know, people have constantly changing variables, and with me at least, I think the problem is you try to take all of your XX baggage from your last relationship and apply it to whatever the new thing is. And a lot of times, you know, you get the stereotype, especially with guys like us who are, you know, at least myself, marginally successful.
Marginally.
Okay. I think you throw out rules. I mean, there shouldn't be rules and regulations as far as dating goes, as far as your attraction to someone or something like that. You have to throw out the rules and go for broke, so to speak.
Christoph, do you ever date around?
Do I date around? No, not anymore. I've been in a relationship for the past 2 years. So I'm not dating presently, but when I was, pardon me, you have to excuse me, I have a cold. But when I was, it was not so often. I have 2 children, and my little girl, she's 4 years old. When she was born, after she was born, something changed inside of me, Geraldo. You know, I went through a real kind of transformation because of having this beautiful little female, and now my approach to females is completely different.
This is going to be a fun show, basically. These guys are all obviously very successful. The young ladies we're about to bring out, we got a preview of them before the program began. Equally successful in their own way. You know, Debbie's got her own views on what the social scene is like. It's a unique perspective. We're going to definitely take a look at it. Stay tuned. How to meet and marry a black man. Whoa.
I think that's an imbalance there.
What do you mean, okay?
He's just, you know, he's okay. He's not the average black man, so he's just okay.
Oh, he's not?
No.
You mean it's extraordinary, or do you mean
his body is not the average black man that we meet from day to day, so he's
okay.
just okay.
What's different about his?
He's he's just a little bit too muscular for me.
Oh, really? Oh, my God. This is what she's looking at. Pass it around. Don't get stuck in July or anything there. So what do you think of the panel?
The panel is nice, but my question is to Brian McKnight. I think I have found the right guy for me, the black professional.
How'd you do
and
that?
I'm lucky.
How'd you do that?
Well, I'm sorry, I don't remember your name.
Christoph.
Christoph. I think he's the one that said that women, if you can come up to a man that you are interested in and let them know that...
So what did you say?
Well, I just introduced myself.
Mm-hmm.
We worked together and I introduced myself and I told him that I was interested in him,
Mm-hmm.
and he was flattered and we went out to dinner.
But you know, there's a book, The Rules, and it says you should never do that. You should never be forward that way. You should let the guys come to you.
Times has changed, you know, this is the 90s, and I think with anything, a career, anything that you want, you should go for it.
Oh, good for you. So what's going on?
And my question is, I'm getting married and I want Brian McKnight to sing at our wedding.
Brian, hum me a couple of bars.
Geraldo, may I interject something? I mean, is there a book of rules about your heart? Is there a book of rules about how to have a baby? Is there a book of rules about how to walk up to someone and shake their hand and say hi? I don't think so. There is?
Oh, tell us, introduce yourself and tell us what.
I'm Cassandra Cato Lewis, Marshall Cato Lewis, and this is my co-author, Monique Jelleret DeYoung, and we wrote the book, How to Marry a Black Man. There are books.
Why'd you write the book?
Because there are books on childbearing, there are books on child rearing, there are books on how to go to school, how to be in school,
how to get a job, how to
find an apartment, how to work on the internet. Why not a book on how to get married?
Is her advice good advice? The young lady?
Oh, we loved it. But what Chris was saying, there is a book. The book is inside each person. You know, you're right in a sense. There's not a book that everybody can go to, a source book. But we want people to look inside at themselves, because each of us has their book of what they need to do to make themselves happy.
So and that then
they can attract someone else. That's the key. There's no book that says, like, that's the reason I don't like the rules, because they have all these rules for you to do to attract someone, but it's like a hollow shell. And if you don't have the inside person happy, and you look to this other person to make you happy, it's not going to last. That's why they even say in the rules, keep doing these rules even after you're married.
Sure, I understand that.
You have to be yourself in order to get along with someone else. Otherwise, you're presenting some false person. Eventually, you have to. Yeah, you will be found out.
And if you always follow those rules, then we wouldn't be here today, because we were told in 1994 that a calendar featuring Afro-American men wouldn't work in society. There was no need
Willie's
for it.
also a co-producer.
Right, there was no need for it. So we went to all the major calendar companies, and they said, well, we have all these pictures of these major guys, major stars, and they said it won't work. So we had to actually do it ourselves, and of course, these guys are very gracious to do it, because we know the fact that we can't pay these guys enough to be in a calendar like this, because we just can't. But they do it because they want to make a statement. Their statement is that I'm black, I'm beautiful, I'm here, I'm a man, and I want to show my sexuality that we don't get an opportunity to show, vis-a-vis in the media, in movies, in television, and so forth. We can't show that side because we're shackled by stigmas that are put on us from the slave days, that say that the Afro-American man is something that the white woman shouldn't look at, and yet the man he shouldn't look at the white woman.
Who's buying the calendar, bro?
I'm sorry?
Who's buying?
Black women, white women, everybody. Matter of fact, our first year, over half of the women who bought the calendar were women of Caucasian women. So
Isn't that part of the problem, ladies? Isn't that part of the problem? I know that Debbie gets mad at me when I say that.
I do.
Go ahead, ask away, Desiree.
Well, what I'm finding out, because I'm biracial, and I've gone back out and started dating. I've actually kind of changed my outlook on the whole dating process with my some help from my sister's book. My sister is Monique. And white women seem to be getting the edge when black men become successful. And, I mean, I can think of it in a culturally discriminatory way in the slavery leftovers that we've discussed earlier. But what do you guys think? I mean, what do you think? Do you go look to a white woman when you become successful, since you are successful
Brian,
black
what do you
men? I don't know. I mean, I'm not accusing. I
don't know if you really go and look for anything. I mean,
do you think you become more attracted to something that's unattainable,
or has it become so attainable that
right now
it's making men even more unavailable for black women?
Well, I know there's a gross miscalculation of black women who marry white men as opposed to black men who marry white women. Right. That is the case. I think white men date black women, but they don't marry them as much as black men date and marry white women. I think that's an imbalance there. But I think in any case, you want to look for your race, but if you don't find it, you find love where you find it. You know, I can't sit here and say that I'm against anyone loving someone. If you can find someone that you're compatible with, I think blood is blood. You know, it's the same color as red. I think in the animal kingdom, which we all look at, you know, sometimes a tiger doesn't always hunt the impala. He goes for a warthog sometimes, or what, if you will. I mean,
what an analogy for dating. Well, I'm not going to date any warthog. I don't know about you, man. Well, I want to introduce. I get the point. I get it. I want you to formally meet the ladies, and we'll take the break. Jackie lives in Chicago, right here. She says that, unfortunately, in her opinion at least, black women cannot have it all like their white counterparts. Why is the difference between a white woman and a black woman?
What's the difference?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the cross-section of women that I work with. It just seems like it's easier for them to attain certain or be accessible to certain types of men. It might be just the women that I work with. It seems like their lives are so easy. It seems like I'm standing there waiting for Metro a lot, and they're rolling up in their cars, not just material things either. The types of husbands they have. And maybe it's because I get to hear this all day because I am a personal trainer. But it just seems like I'm working awfully hard. And it just seems like their lives are so much easier. Ooh, okay. And that could be just because of the way, like I said, the economic group that I deal with.
Mm-hmm. Desiree's 36 years old, she said at the top, looking for Mr. Right. She's a Cornell University graduate. She's an executive in the film business. She says that what she is looking for in a potential mate has changed over the years. What's new?